Hey guys, Scott here. Today I want to make a video about True watching the competitive game or competitive match I had against Hiron for the whole Spirit Challenge thing. And before I go any further than even that, I guess putting in the description was not enough last time, so I'm going to say, please don't be dicks about these things. These are not personal attacks. I'm just going to objectively look at things here, and I will even agree that I may have come off as personally insulting. So I'm just going to say, let's not do that. Let's just look at this very, very objectively and keep it as black and white as possible. Please don't start shit, please. Okay, so he looked at this video, or at least not this video. He looked from Hiron's perspective on his stream, and he used that as evidence that Spirit does in fact have counterplay. The first point I feel like I need to address is that Tru showed no interest in doing this thing, which is fine. I'm not entitled to him doing anything. That's okay. But the reason that he did not want to do it is because he thought the 1v1 aspect here proves nothing. So the game's a 1v4, and the 1v1 doesn't prove anything. Now, while I disagree because, the 1v1 is the chase, that's the only part I care about. I'm not talking about Spirit being strong or anything like that. I'm just saying if your decisions matter in a chase. So I've always said the 1v1 is important there, but he's always held the opinion that the 1v1 doesn't really matter, and that's fine, but it seems kind of hypocritical to upload a video with a 1v1 saying suddenly it matters because now you think it fits your side. So I think that's a little hypocritical that you've just immediately changed your mindset when it suits you, but let's go on further than that. So in the actual video, he shows it from Hiron's perspective. He doesn't show my perspective. Hiron was missing one of the games, and I was also missing one of the games, so you kind of need to look at both sides to get all the videos. But again, what Tru did is he started the video at 1:49, which I thought was very strange. Why would you start the video at 1:49? And it's obvious. It's because he watched the video before he actually showed it to everybody, and he picked the best chases that Hiron had. He didn't show the chase right before 1:49 where he guessed wrong every time and went down in 30 seconds. He didn't show the chases where he vaulted into me when I wasn't even phasing. He didn't show the ones where he guessed wrong again and panic vaulted 3 times. He didn't show any of those because those don't fit what he's trying to say. He just jumped immediately to the chases where, admittedly, Hiron did extremely well. I'm not even going to discredit Hiron. He did very well. But it seems kind of unfair if we're talking about, cherry picking being a bad thing to literally only pick the ones where he did good and not the ones where he guessed wrong every time and immediately went down. So I think that is a little just unfair. But here's the thing. In these videos, I will say Hiron did open my eyes quite a bit, and I have since changed my perspective on counterplay. And the thing is, what he was able to show me is that in a competitive setting, that Spirit can be delayed long enough for the game to end. And you do this by immediately dropping pallets and forcing the Spirit to also guess. Because in that scenario, the Spirit basically has to guess as well. So there's the whole side topic of, is that even fun? Both sides are just fucking guessing. I don't know, that doesn't seem fun, but that's a totally separate topic. But he did show me that in a competitive setting, if a person just drops pallets and plays the pallet and basically pallets and God windows and that's all they do, it makes it so the Spirit has to guess as well, and that can delay her long enough for your competitive team to do generators. The problem is, though, if you drop a pallet every 11 seconds, he didn't do that every game. It was like 11 seconds, or 11 per second, 11 per second. A pallet every 11 seconds one, then one was every 14 seconds, one was every 13.8 seconds or something like that. So it was in that ballpark, but the idea of dropping pallets immediately and forcing the Spirit to also guess, it does delay her. Now, whether or not that's counterplay, you would have to say it is counterplay because you're taking an action that results in her not downing you. But at the end of the day, my whole thing is the fun of it. Like, his skill as a player doesn't really matter there. He drops it down and we just both sort of guess. So it's not really entertaining. And that's really the main complaints people have about Spirit. It's not that she can't be beaten or that she's overpowered or anything like that. It's that the counterplay that she has just sucks. Like, look at Blight, who's almost as strong as Spirit. He's fucking awesome to go against. So it's not really about that. But here is the kicker, and sure, you would have known this if you actually watched my video, which had the other perspective and the perspective of the player that I went against. The guy that you're using for evidence in a 1v1, of which you don't think 1v1s actually mean anything to determine evidence, the guy in the video doesn't even agree with you. The guy in the video says, and I'll quote, "From a competitive standpoint, I felt that was good counterplay against Spirit where gens would have been completed. However, there is no way that works outside of the competitive." we don't play in competitive. So the guy in the video that you're watching doesn't even agree with you. It just seems such a strange piece of evidence to use when you don't even believe in the basis of the evidence to begin with, like, because it's a 1v1. But the guy in the video also doesn't agree with you that it's counterplay, because the only way this works is if you have a team that'll do all the gens in 3 minutes, because if you don't, and you're in every other game of DBD, the fact that you've used all the pallets in 2 minutes means your team is just fucked. Yeah, maybe you'll get the hatch or something, but I don't think that counts as you... I mean, I guess it does count as countering her, but you just fucked everybody else over. That doesn't work in anything but a tournament setting, and that's the whole main point. So that's not really a counter to Spirit. That's a counter to everything in the game if you have a competitive team. Doesn't matter what killer it is unless it's Nurse. If you all just spam drop pallets immediately and end the game in 3 minutes, every killer is countered. I don't even think that's a fair argument for Spirit. That's just, you beat everything in the game with that. That's more a statement on DBD's map design and balance than the actual killer Spirit. We're always talking about the fun aspect of Spirit and the ability to use your skill as a survivor to do stuff against her. And in pretty much all these scenarios, he was just guessing. And he would come out on top sometimes because he would force me to guess by just dropping pallets as soon as he got to them, which is the smart and correct thing to do against Spirit. But that's not really counterplay in the way that people, expect or describe or anything like that. And again, the guy in the video that you featured doesn't even agree with you. So I just had to bring that up. I just found it very strange that you spent all this time saying the 1v1 doesn't matter, and then use this as supporting evidence that suddenly it does matter when it fits the view, and then you ignore the actual message of what the guy I was going against actually said, that this only works in competitive, which you and I don't both play in, so it's meaningless. But that's it, guys. Again, please, I try to keep this as respectable as possible. I hope I didn't underhandedly insult or do anything like that, but I did have an issue with the way it was presented, and I wanted to just give my piece. So thanks for watching, guys. Take it easy.